Jessie, Biggs, and Wedge are by no means the most prominent characters in the original Final Fantasy VII, but they are important players in the game's introduction, and given that they're going to have significantly expanded roles in the remake, here we'll be refreshing our memories of each of their stories. So let's kick things off with Jessie Raspberry, one of Avalanche's technical experts who specializes mostly in making the bombs that the group uses to blow up Mako reactors. As players, we first meet Jessie during the opening of the game, which shows the group's bombing run on Shinra's Mako reactor in Sector 1 of Midgar. During this time, Jessie is quickly established as a chirpy personality and someone who has taken a bit of liking to Cloud, which is only exacerbated by Cloud saving her life when she finds herself in a sticky situation during the bombing run. Also introduced during this section are Wedge and Biggs, two very different personalities in their own right. While Wedge is friendlier and more easygoing, Biggs is much more hot-headed and doesn't take well to the strict qualities Barrett brings with his leadership of the group. Both Wedge and Biggs are also technical specialists for Avalanche, and neither of them, nor Jessie, ever appear as playable party members, with each serving more of a supporting role from the sidelines. After the successful mission at the Sector 1 reactor, Jessie expresses her surprise at how much destruction and damage the bomb she made caused, suggesting that she did not think the explosion would be that big. The implication here, of course, being that Shinra themselves somehow exacerbated it to spark up anti-Avalanche sentiment in the people of Midgar. Soon after their successful bombing run, they head out once again to Sector 5 for a similar mission on the Mako reactor there. Jessie forges fake IDs for the group to get past Shinra checkpoints. Owing to their antics at the Sector 1 reactor though, Shinra's security has stepped up and their forged IDs are quickly caught. While Jessie, Biggs, and Wedge stay behind to deal with the mess, Cloud, Barrett, and Tifa forge on ahead to continue with the mission, though Jessie clearly feels responsible for a poorly done job. Sadly, that proves to be the last time that she, Wedge, and Biggs go on a mission for Avalanche. Not long afterward, Tifa, Cloud, and Aerith discover from mob leader Don Corneo that Shinra have discovered the location of Avalanche's hideout in the Sector 7 slums, and that to wipe out the group from existence, the Mega Corporation plans on dropping the entire plate above the sector by destroying the pillar that holds it up, killing countless people in the process. Avalanche fights long and hard to prevent Shinra from doing so, and Wedge, Biggs, and Jessie are on the front lines of the fighting. Their efforts to prevent Shinra's actions prove to be vital, slowing their attack down and allowing many residents of Sector 7 to escape. This also includes Marlene Wallace, Barrett's adopted daughter, who is able to escape because of Aerith. That proves to be the last thing that the three Avalanche members do, however. Shinra successfully destroys the pillar holding up the plate above the Sector 7 slums, and though some Avalanche members are able to escape, namely Cloud, Tifa, and Barrett, the others are not so lucky. Jessie, Biggs, and Wedge are critically injured in the fighting. Wedge suffers a fatal fall from the pillar's support beams, while Jessie and Biggs succumb to their wounds. Before dying, each of them express their regret for their actions with Avalanche and how many lives were lost because of their bombing runs, with Jessie even suggesting that she deserves death for all the deaths she has caused. In Final Fantasy VII itself, that is the last we see of the trio. Jessie, Biggs, and Wedge, however, make another brief appearance in the novella The Maiden Who Travels the Planet. The novella tells the story of Aerith after she finds herself in the lifestream after having been killed by Sephiroth, and though the Avalanche trio's role in the story is very brief, it does lend more context to their characters. Each of them are ecstatic to know that Cloud has joined Avalanche as a permanent member of the group, and that now they are fighting against an even bigger threat in Sephiroth to save the planet. Jessie, however, tells Aerith that she, Biggs, and Wedge cannot join her in the livestream because of the lives they took while they were still alive, and urges her to put some distance between herself and the trio, lest she be tainted by their sinful memories, as she puts it. Aerith's final words to them are ones of comfort, telling them that their heroic actions during Shinra's attack on the Sector 7 pillar helped save many lives, including that of Barrett's adoptive daughter Marlene. And that's the full story of Jessie, Biggs, and Wedge. Clearly, they were not the most crucial characters, but though they didn't have much of an impact on the larger story of Final Fantasy VII or its universe, they were pivotal characters in the game's opening. What's interesting, though, is that in the imminent Final Fantasy VII Remake, the trio is going to have much more expanded roles. That makes sense given that it's a game that's going to try and make a full-length experience out of what were just the opening 5 to 6 hours of the original Final Fantasy VII, but how it does so is going to be fascinating. We can probably expect characters like these three to be the ones that benefit from the drastic expansion the most. In the remake, Jessie is going to be voiced by Erica Lindbeck, who voiced Black Cat in Spider-Man and Futaba in Persona 5. Biggs is going to be voiced by Gideon Emery, the voice of Fergus Reed in the Wolfenstein games, and Wedge by Matt Jones, who played Badger in Breaking Bad. While the likes of Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, Barrett, and Sephiroth are still very much going to be the center of attention in the upcoming remake, we're still excited to see how other secondary characters are brought to life with greater depth than ever before. And with the Final Fantasy VII Remake right around the corner, we won't have to wait long to find out how successfully it will do just that. And that wraps it up. If you like what we are doing, please consider subscribing to our channel, and don't forget to switch on the bell notification icon. That way you will never miss out on any of our videos.